The global semiconductor shortage has affected everything from cars to consumer electronics. It's highlighted a need for not just more, but better chips. As Ira Spitzer reports, that's sparking record investment in the sector.
They're small enough to fit in the palm of your hand, but semiconductor chips, like this one made by Silicon Valley startup EdgeQ, have become an increasingly big deal on the global stage.
So there's basically this chip right under that guy. You can barely see it.
Semiconductors are fundamental for computers and just about any electronic device. Many consumers realized their importance when shortages this year slowed production on new cars. But while shortages persist, industry players are looking to the future. It's a future they believe will unlock new frontiers in a world powered by 5G and AI.
We do a lot of things with software. We believe that next generation hardware is going to be very soft. We call this thing software-defined silicon, meaning a lot of the functionality is enabled based on the software that runs on it rather than just being a fixed function hardware.
Investors are taking note. The consulting firm Deloitte predicts $6 billion of venture capital investment in semiconductors in 2022, a 400% increase from 5 years ago. The world needs more powerful chips, optimized for a variety of tasks.
Making chips is getting more and more complicated, and they're getting more and more expensive. For example, to make a chip of this complexity, you're looking at all in about $100 million to do in 3 to 4 years.
Governments are interested too. Taiwan's importance as a manufacturing hub, especially of the most advanced semiconductors, has been a source of concern to the U.S. and others in light of tensions between the island and China.
So that's becoming an increasingly untenable geopolitical situation to deal with. And so we're now seeing a lot of sovereign governments, the U.S. certainly, but also Europe and India and Japan and lots of others, talking about subsidizing semiconductors to build manufacturing capacity for semis within their own borders.
The Biden administration is pushing a $52 billion bill to fund domestic semiconductor manufacturing. Samsung is building a $17 billion facility in Texas, and Intel has pledged $20 billion for 2 Arizona plants. And with demand expected to keep increasing, especially for newer and better chips, the future is looking brighter. Some of the world's biggest tech companies are looking at ways to have more control over the semiconductor supply chain. Chinese firm Baidu, as well as Apple and Facebook right here in Silicon Valley, are reportedly exploring developing their own chips in-house. Ira Spitzer, CNA, San Francisco.